everyone. Welcome to Everywhere Book Fest. I'm Remy Lai, and I'm here I'm an author and illustrator, and I'm here also with my fellow author-illustrator, Kayla Miller.
Hi.
Hi, I'm calling from Australia. Where are you at, Kayla?
I'm located in New York in America, so quite a ways away from you.
What time is it over there now?
It is 5 p.m.
It's 7 in the morning here the next day. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna do an intro about myself for a little bit. So I'm the author and illustrator of Pie in the Sky, which is my first book. It's a hybrid book whereby there is text, like a prose book, and then pictures, like a graphic novel, sort of. And then it's about these two boys who moved to Australia, but they can't speak English. And there are many, many cakes in this book. And my next book, which is coming out in September, is called Fly on the Wall. And it's about this boy who goes on an international flight on his own without his family knowing, to prove to them that he's not a baby anymore. So it is also a hybrid book with graphic novel panels like that. And there. So that's it for me. So what about you, Kayla?
I'm the author and illustrator of the Clique series of graphic novels. The first book is Clique, which features the main character, Olive, trying to decide what she wants to do for a school talent show after all of her friends start making groups and nobody really asks her to be a part of their group. The second one is Camp, which is Olive again, and she goes to summer camp with her friend Willow, and Olive has a much easier time making friends than Willow, and that puts a big strain on their friendship. And my third book is Act, which is coming out in July. And this graphic novel is about Olive realizing that one of her friends didn't get to go to their school field trip because her parents couldn't pay for it. So she tries to do everything she can to make it so that the next school field trip, everyone will be able to go. And one of the things she ends up doing is running for her school student council.
That sounds awesome. So I've read Camp and Clique, of course, and I actually read them before. So how Kayla and I connected was through actually Fly on the Wall, because she read this copy, which isn't out yet. So she read it and she gave a blurb, which is not on here, but it will be on the final book. So that was how we connected. And yeah, so today we're going to do a doodle duel. Kayla and I are going to battle with doodles, and then after that we'll do a Q&A session. So we actually got some suggestions for the doodles and the questions from Twitter and Instagram. So are you excited, Kayla?
I am. I'm very excited to get into it and to, match pens with you.
Okay, so okay, let's do this. Let's get ready. So for the first round, what we're going to draw is we're going to draw ourselves as royalties looking out of a castle window. Do you want to go first, Kayla?
Sure. I'll take the first round. Okay. So castle window. The first thing I think of with this is like Rapunzel. I feel like she's notorious for looking out castle windows. Have you ever seen a castle in real life?
No, because I haven't been to Disneyland. Have you?
Yeah, that's the only place I've ever seen. I've seen some like fancy houses in real life, but I think the only thing that's like technically a castle I've ever seen.
So a fancy house with like a turret?
Yeah, I've seen like I don't know, in New England sometimes there's like very fancy houses, and some of them will have like little like towers or like
Wow.
Yeah, especially near like the ocean, because I think like people used to kind of sit in the big tower and like look out for ships coming in if their husband was at sea or their son.
Cool.
So this is how I feel right now that we're stuck inside. It's very nice to see you today because, I mean, I don't know if you're.
But you work from home too, right? Do you?
Yeah. hmm Yeah, this
Yeah.
is my studio behind me. I've got all my comic books.
It's very nice because I want my own office too. I don't have one right now. I mean,
Yeah, this is my first apartment where I've had like my own office and wasn't just like working out of my bedroom.
yeah, that's what I'm doing now. Awesome.
So yeah, there I am looking out of my
Yay!
tower.
Cool.
So now it's your turn.
Okay. Share screen. I feel like all castles look pretty much the same. So what I'm gonna draw is maybe like oops, it's red. It's black.
I just thought of another place where you can see castles.
Where?
Have you ever gone mini golfing?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a good one. I'm gonna do this kind of castle. I think the castle window is always like the same shape.
Yeah, they're very into like arches.
Hmm. That's me.
Do you draw yourself a lot or?
Not really. I don't really have any occasions to draw myself. Do you?
Not anymore. I feel like I used to when I was in college.
Ah, for like assignments or?
For assignments and also just like for fun.
Ah,
I know a lot of cartoonists do like comics about themselves,
oh yeah.
and I do those sometimes.
Cool. Okay, that's my castle. How's that?
Beautiful.
Okay, stop. Okay. Who do you think wins this round?
I would say you won this round. I like how happy you looked in your castle.
But you look happy too in your castle. Okay. Let's call it a draw for this one, and then we'll see how it goes.
Okay.
Okay. So the second round, cool. I like this one. The second round, we're going to do a duck. Yeah.
Okay.
Should I go first?
You should go first, yeah.
Okay. Sure. I'll erase. Clear. Okay, I'm going to draw a duck. I don't really draw ducks very often, so.
Do you draw a lot of animals?
Yeah, I love drawing animals, so but I don't really draw ducks a lot. I draw a lot of dogs, so I kind of know I can draw dogs pretty well. But ducks, like that maybe. Oh, I wanted to draw an angry duck.
It just got like 50% scarier in 10 seconds.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how your duck goes up against my angry duck.
Okay. All right. So I've got to erase my little castle. Now it's time to draw a duck.
What about you? Do you prefer drawing animals or people?
I definitely prefer drawing people. I have drawn animals for things in the past, and like I feel like I can draw dogs and cats pretty well. But when it comes to like any other animal, I need to use a lot of reference because animals are all so different.
Right. That's a happy duck.
Yeah, I think it's
I was
kind of
curious.
peaceful.
Do you have like a like an orientation where you prefer to draw? Like I find it easier to draw when my characters are facing left than when they're facing right. Does it make a difference to you?
Oh, I've never really thought about it. Because when I'm doing graphic novels, it usually depends on like which way, like who they're talking to is.
Yeah, yeah.
So like if they're talking to someone on the left, I'll have them looking left. Um, but yeah, I think if it's like just a drawing that I'm doing that's like a standalone drawing, I don't think I really pay attention to it.
Ah, okay.
Which way did you say you preferred?
When the character is facing left, but obviously I have to draw it like both ways, as you said, depending on who the character is
Yeah.
talking to. Yeah. Oh, that's a happy duck.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you won this round because your duck looks not scary.
The duck you'd rather spend time with.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, let's do the next round. Okay, the next round is, I can't see my.
Oh, I think our next prompt was drawing our characters going to the beach for a beach day.
Ah, yes. Okay, do you want to go first this time?
Sure. So, goodbye, duck. So I've actually drawn Olive at the beach once before, but it was in a dream sequence, so she was older and not a kid.
So, what kind of differences are there when drawing a kid versus an adult?
I don't know, I guess like mainly I just made her taller. And I changed her hair a little bit because I think like pigtails are kind of something I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing as an adult. Not that I could really get my hair into anything. Yeah, I'm gonna make her happier because she's at the beach. She's having fun. Oh wait, I forgot. Last time I used this program, I forgot that we had an eraser. So I'm gonna take full advantage.
Yeah, and for the viewers who are watching, we're actually using the whiteboard function on Zoom, so it's kind of a little bit not as smooth as if we are using a different program, like Photoshop or stuff like
Do you usually use Photoshop as your main
that.
program when you're working?
Yeah, but I also like to use actually Clip Studio Paint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I kind
Yeah,
of
I've used that once or twice.
yeah, I like Procreate too. What about you? What do you use?
I still draw my sketches and inks on paper,
Oh yeah,
and then yeah, like the coloring I do on the computer.
yeah. I love the feel of like drawing on paper, but I hate scanning. So
Yeah, it's really time consuming. But yeah, when I draw, I usually don't just, draw straight without doing any sketches. So this is going to be a little rough.
yeah, it looks really great.
Thank you.
So when you're drawing on paper and pen, what kind of pens do you use?
I have quite a collection.
Ah, yeah.
Um, but I mainly use Pentel pocket brush pens for my inking, and then like microns for the smaller details.
Yeah.
And then I actually fill in, like when I color, I usually color like Olive's hair completely black, and I do that with just like a Sharpie.
Oh,
Which I
okay.
feel like when I was a teenager, I was a very big like snob when it came to art materials. I always thought like I had to have the fancy ones from the art store. And now that I'm older, I just go right back to using like the cheapest stuff.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, there's Olive at the beach.
Cool. Awesome. She looks so happy. Okay. So now I'm going to draw. I'm going to clear this, and then I'm going to draw a character from Fly on the Wall. His name is Henry, and I'm going to draw him on the beach.
When I was reading your book, I liked Henry a lot. I thought he was funny, and I thought he had an interesting way of thinking about things. How much of your characters' personalities, like, do you think are based on you, or are they based on people you know?
So Henry is a lot like me. So I had a hard time when I was writing this book, just because he is so like me that I felt very exposed. And when and I this one I would say was the hardest book that I had ever written, and I just because of the structure, because everything happened in like 9 hours or something, so I had to fit in all those things into 9 hours. And I actually I asked my agent and my editor if I could not do that one and write something else. And they said, no, you have to do this one. Yeah, but they were right, because I'm really proud of like the end product. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was great, and I'm glad you did this one.
What about you?
I'm sure whatever else you're going to do is going to be great, but
thank you.
a pleasure to read. And
what about
I really like the time structure.
That was the hardest part to write, I think. What about you? Is like Olive like you, or?
In some ways, I always feel like every character I write is me to some extent, because I think, you know, you have to empathize with your characters and figure out how they would react in certain situations. But yeah, I would say Olive is like who I wish I was at that age, because I definitely wasn't as confident as she is.
Nice. Okay, there's a castle there.
Oh, that's like the little castle tower from earlier.
Yeah, okay. Okay, who won this round?
I like both of them. I wish they could have been at the beach together.
Yeah, I wish we could draw on the same whiteboard, but doesn't allow us to do that. Okay, let's say a draw again.
Yeah.
So you're actually you're leading by one because of your duck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, duck.
Okay, round 4. Draw a fairy garden with flowers and a gazebo. Should I, or do you want to do it first, or?
I went first for the last round, so you can go first this time.
Okay.
Have fun drawing the gazebo.
Okay. I prefer drawing characters to like backgrounds and stuff, because like if you draw like a house or something, you have to think about like the geometry of it, I guess, the shape and everything.
Yeah,
So,
like the perspective and
yeah. So I'm going to cheat by drawing something that doesn't really have a kind of a geometrical shape. I'm just going to draw like a fantasy gazebo with a big mushroom and a fairy here. So all your graphic novels so far are contemporary. Do you want to ever like draw a fantasy?
Oh yeah, I would love to do either a fantasy or like a sci-fi graphic novel someday. I think you know, I like doing contemporary stuff and I like doing slice of life stuff, but I think, you know, drawing a fantasy novel would just be so fun, because you could draw like fairies and, well, depending on what world you're in. But I have a couple of ideas that I'd like to do in the future. How about you?
Yeah, fantasy would be great to draw. I think it would be really fun. I mean, it would also be a lot of work unless you set your story in like a desert. Then all you have to draw is like a sand dunes. Okay, yeah, that's mine. That's my fairy garden with a gazebo.
I like your little shortcut.
Yeah, that's good.
Creative thinking.
Okay, it's your turn now.
Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna try to draw a gazebo.
Did you like drawing backgrounds and stuff?
Yeah, it's one of my favorite things to do, actually. I really like deciding what kind of furniture to put in houses and what to put up in people's rooms as far as like posters and that sort of thing. I think you can really say a lot about characters by what you're, putting in the space that they inhabit. I'm going like a little bit complex on this roof. I don't know why. Spent all that time on the roof and then immediately. It's okay.
Yeah, it's good. It's kind of like a hexagon. But hexagon is like hexagon is a 5-sided thing.
Hexagon is 8.
8?
No, okay. Octagon is 8.
Yeah.
Hexagon is 6. I forget what you call 5.
Little steps.
Yeah. I feel like the best gazebos are ones that you have to walk up into. And I'm going to draw a little fairy circle of mushrooms.
So I read that like manga artists, they normally have so they don't have just one. They have like multiple people like working on the same story or the same book. And
yeah,
like
they have like assistants to draw the background.
I know, yeah, that's my dream. Somebody drawing my background for me. Cool.
Yeah, right now I have, for my last book, I had a letterer and a colorist. And on this book, I think I'm also, book I'm working on now, I think I'm also going to have a letterer and a colorist.
So what about the first one then?
The first one I did have a colorist join me after a while. I think I colored maybe the first like 100 or so pages, and I was moving too slow, and my publisher was like, what if we got you some help? And I was like, I would very much like some help. So I had Kat Afeard do the colors for the second half of Clique. And then for camp, I had a flatter who just did the flat colors, and then I did all of the shading and also like picked which colors to go in. Like he basically did placeholder colors just so that I wouldn't have to go in and trace everything.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, that was my friend Miguel Coe did those. He actually just moved to Australia. So, yeah, well, not just, but he moved there 2 years ago.
Right. What part of Australia is it?
Sydney, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's cool flowers.
Yeah, I'm kind of going abstract. I think when I like draw an illustration that has flowers, I usually look up flowers, but these are
yeah, the go-to
flowers. The flowers that everybody's been drawing since they were 0 years old. All right. So gazebo, fairy, lots of flowers.
Yes. I think you won this round because yours have like actual like proper shapes.
Almost. The gazebo looks like it's about to fall over, but I'll take the
Okay. Let's do the next round. For our last round, this one is going to be fun. We're going to draw a worm in its underground home. Do you want to go first,
Yeah, sure.
Kayla?
Okay. So this prompt, like the first thing I thought of when I heard it was like the old Bugs Bunny cartoons where, you know, his house is just like from the outside it looks like a hole in the ground with a little mailbox out front. But then inside he's got his whole like bachelor pad. So I think my worm is gonna have a little apartment.
No.
So it's a studio apartment, so his bed's gonna be kind of a main feature. I'm gonna give him a squiggly bed because he's a long worm. And he likes to stretch out. All right. And he needs his little kitchen so that he can cook up his dirt.
I can't beat this doodle.
I mean, I'm rushing, so.
Well, like he has an oven.
Yeah, he's not eating cold dirt. He's a sophisticated little guy.
I just realized he has a mailbox.
So do you like bugs or are you afraid of them?
I'm terrified of them, especially, well, not all bugs, like I'm fine with ants and stuff, but like worms and spiders and cockroaches, I'm terrified of them. What about you?
I really don't like ants.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're like my least favorite bug. I just think they're because I feel like they show up in places where you wouldn't expect them, and I think that's what's scary about them to me.
That's right.
As we're like worms, they're usually just outside. Like you're not gonna open up, you know, like a box of cookies and find a bunch of worms inside of it. As we're with ants, maybe you are. Maybe they will get in there. But yeah, so there's my little guy.
Yay! That's so cute. Okay. I can't beat that, so I'm not even going to bother. What I'm going to do is, so I don't actually know where worms live. Like I know they live underground, but do they live in like burrows like a mole or what? I don't even know. So I'm
I
just
kind
going
of
to
think
draw.
ants aren't smart enough to like build like consciously. I feel like they just build to get around and then probably
Oh,
sleep.
you mean worms?
Yeah, worms, what did I say?
Ants.
Oh, no, that was an insult to ants. Ants are very good at building structures. I just don't think worms are doing the same thing. I don't think they're
Right.
like
Okay, but I'm gonna make my worm smart then because it's too late to change.
maybe they are smart. I don't know. I've never met one.
What?
I've had a conversation.
Oh.
I've seen them in passing.
So did you go to school for art, illustration stuff?
Yeah, I went to the University of the Arts in Philadelphia for illustration.
Ooh, was that fun?
Yeah, it was really fun. I learned a lot and I got to try a lot of different techniques and you know, different kinds of illustration. Like we did children's books and packaging and you know, character design for animation and that sort of thing. You went to school for fine arts, right?
Yeah, I did. I think I wanted to do illustration then, but then there wasn't a degree for illustration where I lived. So yeah, it was close enough. For me, I mean, I just wanted to do art, so whatever it was that was involved with art, I would take it. Okay, so that's my worm. my
I
worms.
like it. I like that they each have their own little room.
Yeah, because I like my own space, so I feel like the worms should also have their own space.
Worms value privacy, I've heard. So
Yes. Okay. So I think you want the doodle duel. Yes.
no, I think we both win because everybody wins when you have a doodle duel, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
So long
Yay.
as you had fun, you won.
Yay. Okay. Let's do the questions and answers now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the first question is, do you both draw as kids? For me, I did. I think I have four siblings, and I think all of us drew when we were kids. But then like maybe during maybe around 6 or 7 probably, they all started like not drawing anymore. And then but I did. I continued drawing it. What about you?
Yeah, I've always liked drawing. My mom has, a bunch of artwork that I've done over the years. She saved like so much stuff. But yeah, I've always drawn, and when I was in high school, I kind of knew that that's what I wanted to do for my career, and I chose to go to art school after that. Yeah.
When you were in school, did you ever meet like an illustrator?
When I was in high school, we had someone from the college come to our high school and kind of talk about what different careers they had there, but she wasn't an artist. She just like kind of had a list of people who graduated from the school and like what they did now.
Ah, cool. Okay. Next question. How long does it take to make a book? Do you want to go first with this one?
Yeah, sure. So for my books, there's not really a ton of words because you're just getting the dialogue of what people are saying, and then also when I'm writing the script, I'll put in, some descriptions, but when I'm drawing it, I don't really put in long descriptions because I know what I want the panels to look like. So for a script for me, it takes about a couple of months, like maybe 3 months, but then the artwork takes a lot longer because I like to draw a lot of backgrounds and little people and all sorts of things. So the art can take up to a year to go from the sketch phase all the way to the finished colored art.
Right. But your first 2 books came out in quick succession. So do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So I had all of the artwork done for camp before Clique was published, and that's why they were able to come out so quickly right after each other. The other books, though, I've been doing, afterwards, and it takes, a year, sometimes over a year to finish them, and that's how they're kind of coming out on like a year schedule now.
Yeah. That's actually still kind of pretty tight for a graphic novel.
Yeah.
So for me, my book is like a hybrid book. So it's actually a lot faster to draw because there's not really much background and stuff, and it's not. It has pictures in almost every page, but it's just not as drawing intensive as a graphic novel. So for me, I think Pie in the Sky actually took me 6 months, and that is pretty quick. For me, the drawing pace speed is pretty consistent. It's the writing part that's not consistent. Some books for me take a little longer to write. Yeah, is that what it is with you too?
Yeah, I feel like writing is the thing that I would consider harder because I feel like with art I can kind of go in autopilot and I've drawn the characters so many times that it's kind of become second nature. But when it comes to writing and coming up with a new story and trying to figure out where all of like the little puzzle pieces fit in together, some books are definitely harder than others. Some books like flow and others are a construction project.
And I also wanted to mention that I don't do my colors. So I have a colorist named MJ, and they do all the colors. So that saves me a lot of time. And yeah, that's what it is for you too, right? Because if you have to color your books, then it would take a lot longer.
Yeah, shout out to Jess. Thank you. I look forward to having you help me with the colors again because it saves me so much time. And she does a great job.
Yeah, I love my colors too. Okay, next question. What are we working on right now? I'll go first, and I say, so I'm done. So this book is obviously done. I'm working on a full graphic novel now, which is about a dog that carries a basket and he goes shopping. And yeah, it's a lot of drawing, but I'm having a lot of fun because dogs are my favorite thing to draw. So yeah, what about you, Kayla?
I'm working on another Olive book. This one is about a new girl coming to Olive's class. And in the previous books, Olive kind of gets along with everybody because she's very easygoing and she has a lot of different interests. So, she always has something to talk to with everyone. But this new girl comes to her class and they just don't really get along very well, which I think is something that everyone's going to experience at some point in their life, where they meet a person at work or school or in their neighborhood who they just don't gel with. And it kind of just focuses on how to deal with that sort of situation in a way that's good for both people.
So this came out a year from ACT?
Yeah, it's I don't think we have a solid pub date for it because I'm still in the process of working on it. I'm doing the art right now.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it will probably come out about a year from ACT.
Awesome. Okay, last question. Tips for drawing. Do you have any tips, Kayla?
Yeah, I would say my biggest tip is practice. Like, just the more drawings you do, the better you're going to get, no matter what skill level you're at. You can always improve by practicing and trying to draw things that you haven't drawn before. What would your tips be?
Yeah, practice, and then looking at like images, like research. Like it's so much easier now with Google, just because you can Google everything. And yeah. I think that's it for our question and answers. And I think if you want to get my books and Kayla's books, you could look up Oblong Books. That's your local indie, right?
Yeah, Oblong Books in Rhinebeck. They are a great little bookstore, and they have all of their books available online. And they have my books available online, and I'm going to be signing them when ACT comes out. So if you wanted to order them, I would sign them for you.
Okay, order them. Okay. Thanks so much for being with me here for this Doodle Duel, Kayla. It's so much fun.
Yeah, I had a great time, and I hope that everybody watching had a good time too.
Yay! Thank you for coming to the Doodle Duel panel at Everywhere Book Fest, everyone. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.